Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Susan Vogel, and I'm the Chief Development Officer for the Melanoma Research Foundation. Each month, we're highlighting different members of our community as part of a special guest series in honor of our 25th anniversary. Over the last 25 years, we've been so inspired by how far we've come as a melanoma community, but know there is still so much work that needs to be done. May is Melanoma Awareness Month, and we're proud to have two melanoma survivors with us today as our special guests. I first want to introduce Karolina Jasko. Karolina is a 23-year-old graduate student studying marriage and family therapy at Northwestern University in Chicago. Karolina has had the privilege of serving as Miss Polonia, Illinois 2017 and Miss Illinois USA 2018, where she represented the state of Illinois in the Miss USA pageant. During her reign, she was able to advocate and raise awareness for domestic violence and sexual assault. We know Karolina as the face of the hashtag Get Naked campaign for the Melanoma Research Foundation back in 2019. This is a national campaign and even included promotion on a billboard in Times Square. Karolina is a melanoma survivor who has bravely shared her story on national news outlets such as BuzzFeed, The Today Show, The Doctor's TV Show, Fox, ABC, Yahoo, Health Magazine, Daily Mail, and more. We had the pleasure of getting to know Karolina over these past years. Thank you for joining us, Karolina.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Another new member of the MRF community is Christine Sams. Christine is a 7-year melanoma survivor. Since her melanoma diagnosis in 2014, she has become an advocate for skin cancer and melanoma awareness, and she's become a certified melanoma educator. She is also a spokesperson for Mitzi's Wings, a West Virginia local nonprofit charitable organization that gives back to cancer patients in the community and provides scholarship opportunities to individuals pursuing a degree in early education. Christine has been involved with pageantry for over 20 years. She has held several local and state titles and has been a judge and an MC throughout West Virginia and Virginia. In July 2017, Christine was crowned Mrs. All-Star United States. She spent the year of her national reign traveling throughout the country and sharing her platform, which was skin cancer and melanoma awareness. Recently, Christine was crowned Mrs. West Virginia International 2021 and will compete for the title of Mrs. International this coming July. It is her hope to continue to share her story and help educate others about the seriousness of skin cancer. Christine resides in Lewisburg, West Virginia with her husband, Chad. We're so thrilled to have you both take part in this live session today and hope you want to become more involved in MRF. Welcome, Christine and Karolina. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today, we want to talk about beauty stigmas and the rise of melanoma in women ages 18 to 36, as well as what has changed and what has stayed the same related to cultural standards surrounding health and beauty. I have a couple of questions for both of you, so we'll go ahead and get started. Here's the first one. The idea that skin must be tanned to be beautiful is a harsh myth. Tell us about your experiences in the beauty world or even in popular culture that may have made you feel it was necessary to be tan. And did anyone tell you about the dangers it could pose? We'll start with Karolina.
Yeah, thank you so much, Susan. I think that, first of all, this is an incredible question because it unfortunately is very true. A lot of the times girls think that, yeah, being tan is very beautiful and what you need in order to look a certain way and succeed, especially in the beauty pageant world. And even though pageants are absolutely amazing and I have nothing but good things to say about them, there are a lot of harsh realities in them. And I think that it is very easy to get caught up in that. Luckily, I feel like when I, participated in Miss USA in 2018, we were already working towards steering away from fake tanning and getting to spray tanning and self tanners and all that stuff. So it was easier for me to feel like I'm not missing out if I did want to look a little bit more tan. But I think that nobody tells you about the dangers that tanning in tanning salons does raise. So I think that it's really easy to, to want to look a certain way and not care what means you use in order to get that way. So I'm very fortunate that I was able to stay away from that, and hopefully people in the future can also know that there are better alternatives.
Thank you. That was great. Now we'll go to Christine for the same question about being tanned as being tanned to be beautiful is a harsh myth and what her experiences are. Christine? I don't know that she's with us.
Christine, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Okay, there it went.
There you go. Okay, perfect.
I agree with Karolina. I mean, it really starts at that pageant level where, I've had people tell me, you need to have a tan for you to look good under stage lights or photo shoots or whatever the case may be. And I feel like that's almost instilled in us, even as a kid, because I remember saying, my family even saying, oh, look how tan she is, or look how great she looks, just thinking, that's something that I need to do as I grow. And I admit when I was in high school and even middle school, I'd use the tanning bed. It's mostly for special occasions like, vacations, proms, things like that. But it's something that pale is pretty, it's more beautiful actually, because it's the skin that you're in and it's perfect. But I agree with Karolina with the spray tans and the self tanners. I think if we had that access to things when I was younger, maybe I would have never tanned or never used a tanning bed in the first place. But that always felt like that was our control, that we could get the most tan out of doing something like that. And it wasn't something that was talked about much, the dangers of tanning. I had people tell me, oh, well, if you get skin cancer, you can just cut it out. And, that stayed with me until my adult life. And, melanoma is such a bigger thing than just skin cancer. People don't realize how it can affect them. And, if we can get that out there to younger girls, even now, hopefully that will help protect them later on in the future.
You both are giving great information for everybody watching out here today. Here's another question for both of you. What do you tell other women and men about the tan is beautiful myth? And I'll have Christine start this time.
I always tell them, I'm like, your skin is beautiful, no matter what color it is. I was like, I'll admit I've had to have spray tans or a self tanner if we have to have understage light things. But most of the time I'm rocking my pale skin, and I said there's no tan that's worth your life, no tan that's gonna make you have to go and have surgeries and biopsies, and maybe even worse. And I try to share that with especially younger girls right now, because I still see a lot of that, especially on social media with like TikTok, with girls in tanning beds or taking pictures, selfies in the tanning beds. I'm like, I just wish I could reach out and say, in 10, 20 years, this is going to mean so much to you and wish you wouldn't have done that. So I really do feel like I try to tell pale is pretty, but your beautiful skin should stay beautiful, and keep out of the sun, watch, keep a check on your body, and stay out of the tanning beds for sure.
That's a great message. Karolina, what about you? What message do you send?
Yeah, I think Christine said it already so beautifully, but I think that it's really easy to get caught up in like what society defines as beautiful. And I think that there are obviously so many like different definitions and expectations and all these different things that girls and men take into consideration. And unfortunately, the tan is beautiful myth is one of them. And I think that something that I just want to say is like exactly what Christine said, that pale can be beautiful too. And there's trends are constantly changing, and what's beautiful and what's in, what's out is constantly changing. And Christine was right, like nothing is worth like your life and your skin in general. Like you want your skin to like glow and be just amazing in every category. And if you have skin cancer, and hopefully, yeah, maybe the best case scenario is you just cut it out, but think about all that like emotional and physical damage that does to you. So it's not worth it.
You both are good examples of prevention and education. Appreciate that. Another question, we'll shift topics a little bit. As you know, although melanoma is more prevalent in white men over 50, it certainly doesn't discriminate by age, race, or gender. And in fact, many people don't know that melanoma is the most common form of cancer in women ages 18 to 36. So what thoughts went through your head when you were first diagnosed with melanoma? And I'll ask that question of Karolina first.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just one of those things that for me, for instance, I got diagnosed when I was 18. So that is really young. I was a senior in high school. And I think that when you're a senior in high school, like your priorities definitely do not lie in like taking care of your health and going to the hospital and doing all these things. But that's what my life kind of had to transition to. And I think that I guess what was going through my head was the fact that I just didn't believe that it would happen to me. Like I had a family history, so I was perfectly aware that, melanoma is a thing, which I think already put me a level above so many other people that age because a lot of people aren't even aware of it. But even having that knowledge, it's different knowing it, and it's completely different to actually see it happen to you. So I think that's something that I just want to say is to not think that, oh, that just happens to other people, because you would be surprised.
Again, great information. I appreciate you sharing that story. Christine, what about you? What thoughts went through your head when you were first diagnosed?
It was a very scary time, and I agree with Carolina. Like, you don't think that it's ever going to happen to you. I lost my mom from breast cancer 10 years ago, and when that happened, I really wanted to just be more self-aware of things that I needed to have checked on a yearly basis. I wanted to go and make sure I had mammograms early and skin checks. And my mom even used a tanning bed back in the day. And even every time I would go to the tanning bed, I could still hear her say, if you don't stop that, you're going to get skin cancer. And, I had the same thought as, most young people. It seems like, well, I can just cut it out and I'm going to be okay. So actually, when I found out that I had stage 1 melanoma, of course, the cancer word's always really scary. I regretted every single choice that I'd made as a young person, using the tanning bed or laying out in the sun. And, I just, after it had kind of settled with me, it was like, I've got to help other people to prevent this. I mean, I had known how serious melanoma was as a teen, I never would have stepped foot in the tanning bed. And, you don't know, even when you're first diagnosed with your skin cancer, you don't know at that point maybe like how far it's spread or what kind of treatments you're going to have. And I was very, very blessed to not have to go through a lot of things that other people do. But I have had friends that's gone through melanoma and have lost their lives. And it's a big, important job for us to stop it before it starts and help prevent other people from going through the same thing.
We appreciate your willingness to share that story just of your life and your journey. That's remarkable. Again, we'll shift a little bit. You guys have both talked about this a little bit and touched on this, but we'll go back to Christine. Christine, what's your own personal message to young women today after your diagnosis and learning more about melanoma? If there's just like one thing you could share, what would that be?
Just love the skin you're in. You're beautiful without a tan. I said, I think about all the celebrities out there that rock the pale bodies all the time, and I'm like, think how pretty they are. Look at yourself in the mirror and stop this before it starts. I said it'll save your life. It'll prevent you from aging more quickly. I mean, won't have to go through treatments. And I just really hope that the other young women can learn to love the skin they're in. And if they find anything on their bodies, I mean, even as a young person, I always was you go to the dermatologist and you see the posters on the wall, and that's what I was always thinking that my skin cancer would look like, and it didn't look like that at all. So if there's anything you think that there might be a problem with or something that you are suspicious of, have it taken off, even just for peace of mind, because you never know, and that could actually save your life. And make sure that you tell your family members, that could help save their lives. Melanoma doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anybody, young, old, gender, race. It doesn't matter what it is.
That's great information. And Carolina, what about you? What's your personal message for young women today after your diagnosis and learning more?
Yeah, I think my main message is just to add a dermatologist to your yearly checkup routine because your skin is your largest organ and we really have to learn to take care of it and prioritize it. I think that, there's this common like misconception that the only doctors that you have to go to are, a doctor, dentist, and then like if you're a female, maybe a gynecologist, but a dermatologist is just as important. And I guess that one thing I also want to add really quickly is the fact that my melanoma didn't come from a tanning bed. Like that is the most common way to, or the most heard about known way of getting skin cancer, but it's not the only way. I've never stepped foot in a tanning bed. I do have a family history, but a lot of people aren't even aware of their family histories. And there's also so many other ways you can get those, UV rays. So just like Christine said, be aware of what's on your body, but also know that it might not come up in the way that you expect it. So it's better to just stay on top of yourself and prioritize your health.
You guys have given our viewers a lot of information to think about. Just a few more questions while we have you. And this one's for Karolina. Your journey's really been an experience with a rare form of melanoma, a subtype called acral. So for those watching, can you explain what acromelanoma is for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Acromelanoma is a rare type of skin cancer, like you said, and it mostly comes up on your palms, the soles of your feet, and underneath your fingernails and toenails. So for me, it came up under my right fingernail on my thumb, and now I had to get it all cut out, and like including my nail matrix, and now my nail is never going to grow back. So make sure to know that melanoma can also pop up on your fingernails and your toenails.
My goodness. Well, let's go back to a more fun time back in 2019 and your role as our MRF spokesperson. And what does the hashtag Get Naked campaign mean to you? And what motivated you to want to get involved in that?
Oh my gosh, the hashtag Get Naked campaign means everything to me. I remember when I was first asked to do it, I was so honored just to be able to use like my voice and my experience on such a like bigger platform and inspire so many people and reach a completely different population. I think a lot of the times, like, younger people don't pay attention, like we said, to their health and especially like to skin care, maybe in the terms of like makeup and all that stuff, but not in actually taking care of your skin. So I think it was amazing for me to like know that I'm going to reach a completely different population. One with being Miss Illinois USA, just having like people who watch pageants or are interested in modeling and pop culture and all that stuff be aware of it. And also younger individuals and people who maybe wouldn't expect that someone my age would have gotten it. And I wanted to get involved because of spreading that message, I think, and just showing people that this is something that is serious and it is important and it can happen to anyone. And yeah, hashtag Get Naked, go get checked out, spread awareness.
You took your story all the way from the Chicago area all the way to Times Square back then. So we're grateful for your involvement in that. We're going to ask a couple more questions to Christine. Christine, can you share some of the ways that you help educate your community about the dangers of tanning in the sun?
Yes, ma'am. I actually, when I first was diagnosed, and I had waited a few weeks before I had actually told anyone that I had melanoma before I had my surgeries and everything. But I had so many people reach out to me and say, "You've inspired me to get skin checks. You've inspired me to go to see this dermatologist and to take better care of my skin." And that really, hit me hard because I'm like, I guess a lot of people don't talk about that. It's not something that's, as recognizable as, maybe a mammogram or prostate exam or things like that. And when I got back into the Mrs. pageantry world, I really wanted to make an impact. And especially like Carolina said, when you're in the pageant system and you're in that kind of beauty world, that's something that most people don't even think about. And I really have started to talk more to groups, especially around prom time. I've talked to a lot of children, like I guess children, but like young adults about the types of melanoma, the types of skin cancer, what you need to look out for, how to stay away from tanning beds. I've also talked to a lot of community groups. And, my pageant platform is skin cancer and melanoma awareness. So I would try to get that out there as much as I can, as well as working with Mitzi's Wings, is the nonprofit organization that I work with. And my hope is to actually get more like pediatric like children involved, because I think that starts early. I mean, learning how to put on sunscreen, learning that, the sun isn't always your friend, and I think that's something I wish I would have been taught in school, and maybe, outside of school, that even though my parents used sunscreen on me, it wasn't a thing that we thought that needed to be reapplied more often. But I hope that I can actually start speaking to more and help advocate through you guys. And you've really, really helped me get that voice out there for me. And this month has been really exciting because I have requested a proclamation in our state with the governor's office, and it was signed on April 27th. So they officially declared West Virginia Skin Cancer and Melanoma Awareness Month in our great state. And it's something I've worked really hard on, and I'm very proud to help. Maybe that tool can get other people to get skin checks and take better care of their bodies.
Well, your advocacy is admirable. Thank you so much. That's I didn't know that. That's great news. We have one more question. You pretty much did answer this, but if you could just give a piece of advice to the women that are watching today, what would it be?
I think just be sure to take care of your skin. I was on vacation last week, and I was the girl under the canopy with the hat on and the sunglasses and lots of sunscreen. And I think that's so important that I see people, even after I've had all my diagnoses and share my advocacy, they'll say, oh, well, that won't happen to me. And I'm like, you don't know when it's going to happen. You could be young, old, doesn't matter. And I really hope that people will get annual skin checks, and if there's anything that's different, to, even if you don't think it's anything, get it checked, because my melanoma just looked like a freckle on my leg. And had I not pursued that, my dog actually found my melanoma for me. So that prompted me to get more skin checks, and sure enough, that came back as melanoma. So just be aware of your body. If your body's telling you to have something checked, just please do it and protect yourself from the sun.
You and Karolina have given us a lot of information to think about. You both are wealth of information for our community that's listening today. I want to thank you both for all that you do as advocates and spokespersons for the melanoma community and for the MRF. And for everyone watching, I hope you'll join us in celebrating our 25th anniversary and supporting our mission, and consider a tax-deductible donation to support the MRF's commitment to research, advocacy, and education. You can simply click the donate button or on the Facebook post, or click the link in the caption. Remember, May is Melanoma Awareness Month. Thank you for helping us spread the word about prevention and staying sun safe. Stay tuned for our Facebook page for more plans, as we have for the whole month of May. Thank you again, Karolina and Christine, and thank you all for tuning in today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Have a great day.